Joining us in Studio B, current BYU Football radio analyst, former BYU quarterback, good man all around, Riley Nelson. Riley, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Okay, let's start right with the Zach Wilson situation.
Yeah.
We know he's taking reps in practice. We are thinking that he's going to be fully cleared to play. But do you expect him to play this Saturday? And if so, how much should he play?
Yeah, I think, here's what I'll say. Whoever starts the game should go the game until, hopefully, where I think we're all hoping it gets out of hand and then the next guy plays. I don't think you go into the game, and of course, this is conjuring memories of Portland State, 20-6, and I don't envision that happening. But if it does, you don't want to go into the game with a plan of, look, you're going to get the first half, you're going to get the second half, or anything like that. Whoever your starter is, that's the horse that you're going to ride, and you ride him until hopefully the game gets out of hand, and then the next guy will get reps. So that said, whoever they determine, if Zach's ready to go, I think you give him the start, and I think you try and get him the most reps in that this year, at least to come back and reestablish himself as the starter, because it wasn't due to poor performance. In fact, he performed very well against fair to say the schedule that he played against is doubly harder than the more recent schedule. And so give him the opportunity to come back, reestablish himself as a team leader. If he's not 100% ready to go, and then you let Baylor take it. And if something happens to Baylor, knock on wood, or if the game gets out of hand, then of course Zach is there and ready to get some reps.
So you talked about how we expect BYU to win this game, and we certainly would love it to be by a large margin. What do you think is an adequate margin of victory for BYU in a game like this?
21 plus. Honestly, I don't think this team is not one. They don't run tempo. We're not, haven't proven to produce a ton of big plays. We don't really get out and lap teams that we play. We're more of a grinded out, play solid, and over the course of a game, we work out a victory. So with Idaho State coming in, where they're struggling, you pop on the film and look, it should happen, right? And I don't want to heap the expectations, but I expect it to happen. And then just knowing the nature of this BYU team, I think they're going to establish the run. I don't think they're going to change anything. Just the way this team is constructed, 21 plus to me is adequate.
Okay, Riley Nelson with us on BYU Sports Nation. Let's dive into something you were addressing along the lines of Zach Wilson. Let's say that Zach comes in and he's rusty and things are not going well early. You stay with him, or do you say, okay, maybe we need Baylor Romney back in the game because he's more attuned to this? Like, what do you think of that situation?
No, to me, that's the strategy behind if he's medically cleared, get him in now, because there is going to be that rust and there is going to be that chemistry that needs to be reestablished. And the nice thing is, and not to short UMass, but just looking at things objectively, really he's got 2 weeks to get back into the groove before we play a San Diego State team that is. As an overall team, they're good, not great, but that defense is great in spite of the offense's lack of production. So if he's your horse and he's the one you're riding, which, by the way, I'm fully you look at the Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady situation, like if this coaching staff decides, hey, Baylor's our hot hand and we're going to ride him as long as we can, I fully respect and can get behind that decision as well. But if you're going back to Zach, no, the struggles and things, in fact, I would expect those to a large degree. Now, if it gets to be a situation where the game is in jeopardy in each one of these 2 weeks, then yeah, you got to do what you got to do and pull the hook. There is a very small chance of that happening. So no, you let him work the rust off, and you have 8 quarters worth of play for him to get ready for San Diego State in a potential bowl.
Well, we have clearly seen a different offensive philosophy over the last 3 weeks. I don't know if it's a different scheme, but certainly different play calling and things like that. I'm anxious to see what Zach can do in this offense right now. How do you think what we've seen over the last 3 weeks fits what Zach does?
I think so. You're right. The risk taking, the setting up of plays, and then cashing in off variations off of those plays, from the play action to the end around fakes and all those things, the creativity, right? Yeah. I too am excited to see what Zach can do in this. Now, I will say this objectively. Baylor has come in, and Baylor is an executor, and he does not do much. The freewheeling, the improvisation, the gunslinger type that endears us all to Zach, that's not Baylor's game. His is more call the play, execute play, move on.
He won't disappoint you.
Right. But he's also not giving you those, the highlights that you have are pretty run of the mill. It's like, oh, there he completed a slant. Oh, look, he threw a 10-yard stop. It's not the Sports Center worthy stuff that you love Zach. Now, that said, if Zach comes back, I think Zach, and it could have been out of necessity early in the season that he was running around and having to make plays outside. In fact, I wouldn't say it could be. I would say it was. That was just in order to produce and move the ball down the field. That's what he was having to do. Now, what I'm excited to see is Zach come back, take everything that he saw Baylor have such great success in and execute the play called, and then in the off chance, because this offensive unit's playing so much better, so in those rare plays where things do break down or it isn't there, then add his improvisation. Where he could get into trouble or where he might see some struggles coming back is if he tries to improvise when there is no need for improvisation.
Riley Nelson with us on BYU Sports Nation, former quarterback, current radio analyst, ready for BYU and Idaho State on Saturday. It is senior day. BYU can clinch bowl eligibility. And let's talk about some of those seniors. Diane Galwoluku, Alevi Hifo, Moronela Lupututau, Austin Lee, Talon Shumway, Micah Simon. Troy Warner and Chris Wilcox are going to be redshirting and coming back, so they're seniors, but they're under that exception. What senior will BYU miss the most that's not going to be back next year?
I probably would say on the field and overall, my vote goes to Diane Galwoluku. And just as an open field tackler and being so versatile on the back end of that defense, and as well as his leadership, he's more of a quiet leader. He's not very demonstrative and outspoken, but he's extremely well respected. I've seen him interact with his teammates enough, and he's been the anchor of that defense, I think, not just this year, but the last couple of years. And then secondly, on the offensive side of the ball, Micah Simon. I don't know. I've always liked Micah. I've known him ever since he's been on campus, and I've always been really impressed with him. But to see him kind of fade, he wasn't getting as many targets, not as many catches. He up until the last couple of games had a big drought without a touchdown and any meaningful catches. But the way he has hung in there, the way he's represented himself, represented the university, and then just in this senior season come up big in big spots. Tennessee, none bigger than the Tennessee play. He would be my vote on the offensive side of the ball.
Look, you're not stepping out on a limb by saying that BYU could run the table, win a bowl game, and get to 9 wins on this season. How realistic do you think that is?
I give it if I had to bet right now, I'd put 2/3, 1/3 odds. In other words, 66% chance that they do that. It's going to be a challenge because you don't know who you're going to play in the bowl game, but look, you always want to be cautious against Toledo and South Florida, but I also want to be objective. When I pop on the film of Idaho State and UMass, in fact, when I popped on the film of Liberty, I was like, this is a better South Florida team. Now, we're better, and we got them at home, so I think we should win. But objectively, I knew Liberty was going to be a football game. Seeing the Idaho State film and having watched a couple of UMass games for just the TV copies earlier in the I don't see that happening the next 2 weeks. And then objectively looking at San Diego State, I stayed up and watched the Nevada game this last weekend. Hopefully the rest of Cougar Nation did. They're as much into scouting the opponents as I am.
He's putting in the work, people. Look, the broadcasting thing, taking it seriously.
And it enriches the experience on game day. But when I see San Diego State, yeah, that defense is formidable, but BYU's defense is also playing better. It'll be interesting to see what FPI ranks it, but I think that's probably, a 60-65% chance of a BYU victory. So there you're at 8-4, and then depending on the matchup in the bowl game, if it's Hawaii, I really like my chances. They've mentioned some other teams from the American Conference. That's what I'm hoping for, because that's going to be the biggest challenge in the best game. That'll be a hotly contested game that could go either way depending on how the teams are playing going into it. So that's why I'm so confident in saying I see it more likely than not that they end up 9-4.
All right, Riley Nelson with us on BYU Sports Nation. A 2/3, 66%, and maybe it's UCF as was projected by Brett McMurphy yesterday. Riley, thanks for coming in, man. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.